Good evening, everyone. Welcome back to today's live session. I'm very excited for the conversation that we are going to have today as we step into a new week with the intention of building the new you. Because there's something I've understood about transformation, about creating change that lasts. It can't begin in any other place other than you. But before I get into a theory to explain you why that is it okay if I share a quick story with you today? To really help you understand the importance of the ideas that we're going to talk about. So, this story is about a man who is on a mission. And the mission this man is on is simple. He wants to build the tallest building in the world. He wants to break the record of even the Burj Khalifa in Dubai. And he has set his mind that in his empty plot of land, he's going to bring all the bricks, he's going to bring all the structures, and he is going to make the tallest building in the world. And he's so personally attached to the project that he doesn't want anyone else to do the building. He's saying, I'll lay the foundation stone and I'll lay everything that goes on top. This will truly be my building. So that's the aim this man is on. A formidable mission, of course, something that can be admired. But now, here's what he does, okay? He's starting off on the project. So there's this empty piece of land that's there. And he's envisioning, okay, this is how tall the building's going to look. And it's going to be amazing. And it's going to set a world record. And it's going to attract people from all around the world. And in that excitement, he does this. He lays the first layer of bricks. And he's so happy. And he's so amazed. And he's so satisfied. Yes, I've begun my dream project. And then he takes it to about the height of one story. He's laid all the bricks, he's mixed up some of the cement, and the structure is kind of taking shape. Now he's feeling even more excited because he can see even more growth happening and he can see even more success coming his way because the vision is becoming real. Of course, it's going to be a long way to go before he gets the tallest building in the world. But now it's been a few more months and he's already above three stories and he's built this marvel all by himself and he is feeling on top of the world. He is feeling that there's no better genius than him in the world. Now, here's what happens, okay? A storm rolls in, which is expected for any place in the world, right? We all have days that are full of storms. We all have seasons that come, that take over. There are tornadoes that show up. There's so many things that happen. So, this man is now building this plot. He's building this building, but a storm comes in, and now everything he had built collapses to the ground. He's surprised and he's shocked. How did this happen? How did my dream, something I was so passionate about, how did that just crumble to the ground? And as he's sitting in that reflective, sad mood, he feels so bad about himself and he feels the world is against him. But he's like, no, I'm going to do something and I'm going to build. And he remotivates himself and he fills himself up with a joy and energy and he starts building again. He lays the first floor, then he lays the second floor, then he lays the third floor. Now he gets to the sixth floor. It's been more than a year that he's building, and it's like now my dream's finally taking shape. And that is when the city that he's in, a typhoon hits, and once again, everything that he had built completely collapses to the ground. Now, this is the second time this has happened, and he's thinking and he's feeling there's no point doing anything anymore. Why am I even trying? But again, he finds the energy to motivate himself and he goes all out and he starts again and he builds and builds and builds and builds and builds and builds. And now this time he crosses 10 stories, he crosses 10 floors, and now he's feeling finally, I have done so much struggle, I've done so much hard work, I've gone through so many storms and challenges. Please, God, this once let it happen. And somehow it seems that the God is listening to his prayers because the days are exceptionally clear. Now, this time around, 2 years later, There's no storm coming, there's nothing else happening. But before he knows it, right in comes another storm, and just like all the times before, the building collapses again. And so he goes to a friend of his who seems to know this. Now, after all these failures, his pride has broken down a bit. He has understood this much. Ki, I alone cannot do it. So I better seek some help. I better seek some guidance. So he goes to this friend of his. And he tells the friend, this has been happening. I have this dream. I even got to such a high level, and then God was so cruel. God did this. And the friend just looks at him and says, he's stupid. Where was the foundation? Where were the reinforcing bars? Where were the metal structures? You can't just expect to lay a set of bricks and a building to rise. When did you work on the core? And he's like, what core? I want to build a building. The friend said, exactly. If you want to build a great building, you got to start by digging the ground first, not by creating the bricks, not by layering the action steps. And now this man is bewildered. He's confused. Doesn't make sense. I want to build a building, so I'm going to do that, right? What point do I have digging up the ground? But then the friend told her, well, all these problems that you've been facing, all these storms that have been wiping off your success, wiping off your efforts, well, if you just build the foundation right, you will not have to face these problems, because then the building will grow, no doubt, but at the same time the foundation will be so deep and so robust that come what may, earthquakes, typhoons, other kind of struggles, the building will continue to rise, it will not fall down. And that's when this man realizes, I was making such a big mistake. Now, of course, as most of you know by now, this is not 100% real story. But the reason I told you the story is to drive home a point that is so crucial and yet so often ignored. We're like this man, and the tallest building in the world? Well, that's our goals. That's the success we want to achieve. And how many of you have had this experience that you'll build and work and work and work and get this close to the outcome, and then everything falls apart? And you're left confused, you're left wondering, why did that happen? Why did I lose? It's not like I did anything wrong. And then when you're sitting with that question, right, it haunts you, it gnaws at you, it eats at your soul. But the answer is, just like that man who didn't work on the foundation, if you don't work on your foundation, if you don't work on your core, and if you just keep solving problems on the surface, then you're going to keep struggling. Storms are going to come, they're going to dismantle your success. A typhoon is going to come, it's going to leave you feeling homeless, it's going to leave you feeling as if you've lost everything. And then, if nothing else happens, everything is going smoothly, and one challenge or the other will come like an earthquake and disrupt everything. I'm sure you've had experiences like this in your life where, for no reason at all, things have gone wrong, where you knew that you were gonna make it big, but you weren't able to. Well, that was nothing else but your inability to withstand hardships. I'll repeat that again. When we get close to success, but we fail right before we reach it, it's nothing else except our inability to handle hardships. Working on the foundation is like building that strength which allows you to handle hardships, which allows you to deal with failure, which allows you to take action on a whole new massive level. And that's why this foundational work is so important. And it's what I do with all my clients in my one-to-one coaching. When they come in, I never tell them how to solve their problems. I never tell them how to do this or how to do that and prescribe them things. No. What I'm doing instead is I'm working on this core, I'm working on this foundation so that come what may, no matter what challenges they face. It's not just a feel good coaching that ends when the session ends, but it's practical, it's implementable, and it's real, so that when they are facing a challenge and when they are facing adversity, they are activating and they are focusing not on the lens of how affected or negative they are, but on the higher elevated lens of how empowered they are. And that empowerment to deal with hardships, that strength to deal with challenges, well, that doesn't come from chasing your goals. That comes from working on the foundation. And the reason I started with that whole story and that building metaphor is simple. See, I'll tell most of you, right? Work on the foundation. You'll be like, Prab, whatever. I don't want to listen to this. I have my goal to achieve. Tell me how to get the job. Or I want to get married. Tell me how to do that. Or I'm married. I really want to leave this person. Tell me how to do that. See, when people come in, these are the challenges that they come up with. But here's the thing, the challenge is never the challenge. If it is coming in, if the storm outside is affecting you, there's something that's weak on the foundation that needs to be addressed. And most of us will keep blaming the storm. Most of us will keep blaming something inside. And most of us will look for the quickest way to rebuild that haphazard structure again, not knowing that the moment the next storm hits, it's gonna take you down. My promise often is you're never going to go down like that. You are going to only keep going higher and higher and higher. Do I guarantee a problem free life? No, nobody can. You shouldn't even want a problem free life. But what you should want is the ability to crack that core foundation so well that you are able to withstand any challenge, any pressure, any responsibility, anything that bothers you in life. The moment you can do that, the moment you can create that, the moment you can act from the lens of empowerment and success and growth, well, that's the moment everything starts to work in your favor. And that's why building yourself and working yourself comes before any goal. You could be making $1 million, but if the foundation is weak, before you know it, they're gonna go. You could be married to the most amazing person in the world, but if your foundation is weak, you will fumble even that amazing relationship. You can have any kind of clients, any kind of growth, any kind of job you want, but if the foundation is weak, it won't last. It just won't. One storm will come, one challenge will come, and you will fall down. You will crumble like that building that man was building, which had no foundation. Don't make this mistake with your life. Your time is too precious for you to go through these challenges. Your time is too valuable for you to waste it on lessons you can just learn like this. So make sure from today onwards, you're not just working on the symptom, you're working on the root. From today onwards, you're not just working on getting something on the surface level, but you're also working on getting down to the core of success, to the core of achievement, to the core of becoming your best self. That's called working on the foundation. When you become a stronger person, the success you want naturally comes your way, because then the success also knows you are capable of handling it. So that's my message for today. Can you take this moment to reflect upon where your foundation may be weak, or rather, where you may not even have invested in a foundation and you're just winging it and you're going? Trust me, it's going to come back and bite you. You better start now. You better work on yourself. You better work on your core. Make that investment in you, and you'll see the magic that happens when you take action. If you want my help in helping you do that very fast in just 3 months, there's a link in the description box where you can apply for one-to-one coaching, where I'll help you break these patterns and way more so you can become the best version of yourself. Thank you so much for watching today's video. Thank you so much for tuning in. And I'll see you once again tomorrow at the same time, that is 8:30 p.m. IST. Until then, keep growing, keep shining, and keep thinking. Am I really building my foundation, or am I just working on solving a problem? Thank you so much, and I'll see you soon. Bye.